Good morning again, everyone. Wow, two uploads in one day, isn't that crazy? Yeah, sorry about the late uploads and all that stuff. Sorry for cutting you off in the legs video. The phone filled up, so yeah, we'll keep soldiering on past the introduction. Really get some information out there, I guess. For me, this is just going to be a gym journal for today. So, yeah, leaving legs behind, moving into shoulders. Okay, so shoulders was yesterday. Again, I love shoulder day. It's kind of like that small active recovery window kind of day. Like it's I don't want to say easy, but compared to the I guess the neurological burden of the squats, the bench press, the dumbbell rows, stuff like that, exercises that you do that really fry your brain. Shoulders is pretty well free of that. You've got the shoulder, the shrug, but you know, it's quite minor, isn't it? And it's the only one we've got that really puts that burden on your mind. So, first exercise then, shoulders and arms. I should start saying. Um, First exercise is the incline dumbbell skull crusher. Now, why incline? Well, sitting upright, you kind of feel a bit uneasy in your torso, and what's right behind me? The headrest, isn't it? So, what's the other? What can we do? Well, we can kick this out of the way, but I'm even more uneasy now. And what is the other version of the skull crusher then that's widely adopted? Well, it's completely laying down bench and you lay off the side of it, but this is really just putting a lot of emphasis on your lats, kind of making it almost a lat pullover in some sense, isn't it? It's a lat pull down with sort of bending at the elbow and then bringing it back over. And hey, that may be a good, I guess a bit of a compound burner exercise for maybe a cut, really get some volume up. And keeping time down, like I guess gross volume across the entire body, bring that up and bring time spent at the gym down. That may be worthwhile whenever you don't have much energy, and you got to be smart with the calories you burn because we only have so much glycogen in our muscles, right? Even less when we're cutting. But the middle ground then, what's the good middle ground? Well, if you've got a preacher curl, okay, that bench that you kind of put your arms on, awesome spot because the way it's kind of arched, right? If your dumbbell's up here, it's out of the way of the bench, right? So we don't have to worry about the bench anymore, much like the laying down version of it. But the dumbbell kind of always stays above our head, as if we were sitting upright. So I think it gives the best of both worlds. It is a bit awkward to set up because if you do it on a bench, like one that you would do a flat press off of or something like that, you've got to wriggle up there to begin with. Okay, you can stand up, walk back, and do it, and that's all fine. Just make sure that your bench can handle that. I've done some wheelies on some benches, and I've had to prop like maybe little weights on my bag behind it so it doesn't start trying to drive off while I'm doing the exercise. But your results may vary. Definitely look out for that for the big boys. So what did I do? What were the lifts? Well, first exercise of the day. So we do that titrating. I don't even know what that word means. We kind of bring up the resistance. Okay, so 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 35 kilos. Okay, this is after maybe a bit of a time on the elliptical is a good one for if you're going to be using your triceps, arms, chest day. A good warm up for that is just the elliptical. A bit of arm focus. Get the blood in there. 20, 30, 35, 14 reps across the board. And then 42.5 kilos, 42.5 kilos, 42.5 kilos. 14 reps across the board. The whole exercise block. 14 reps. And after that, you'll be feeling pretty good. And that will be the triceps for the day, okay? Pretty easy. It's a nice day. So, next up, dumbbell shrug, okay? Standing dumbbell shrugs. Now, I don't know if you saw my video on Instagram, but the way this exercise is, it's like you're dragging up the dumbbells in front of your body or to the side of your body. I like the front of my body and give that tiny bit of lean. I feel like it gets the angle just that much better on the rear, right? But make sure that you're not too hyper focused on making the dumbbell go up because you start to not just shrug it, but kind of shrug and curl. Okay, you kind of really exaggerated version of it right there, but you kind of not really shrugging anymore, and you kind of bring your arm up. It's a bit of a cheat. And again, I guess with all forms of like all form breakdown through fatigue and stuff like that, like there's technical and total breakdown of form. Okay, and I think you can you can sense that based on if the exercise is going to hurt you. Okay, so technical form breakdown on the bench may be terrible for your shoulder, so I would avoid it. Technical form breakdown of the bicep curl may just lead to less optimal like gains, really. So try and get a sense for that. Try and figure out what that means for yourself. Like, someone who's going to be way better than me at describing it exists on the internet. For now, this is just a journal, right? Until I get my degree, and then I guess you can come back and say, I hurt myself because of you. It's your fault. And then, I guess we'll take it to court. Moving on from the dumbbell shrug then. Keeping it on the shoulders. So we kind of got shoulders in a nice little sandwich here of triceps and biceps. So we've got that big, heavy compound shoulder exercise out of the way. I recommend you do a shoulder push exercise in your routine, but I'm just not made of the right stuff. I'm not strong enough. I'm not well put together enough to really get some good developments out of that. So we're moving on to the seated dumbbell anterior raise, okay? And why seated? Well, it gives you the least amount of opportunity to cheat those reps. You kind of see people kind of swinging up. Well, I'm doing it on the seat, but it happens more whenever you're standing, and you can kind of and get the dumbbells up to start with that. So less opportunity to cheat, better developments in the the deltoid, less opportunity to hurt yourself. And as I was saying, my shoulders aren't the best. So another thing that I've noticed is bringing it straight out doesn't really work for me. But bringing it maybe 20, 30 degrees out in front as well, that works for me. I like sometimes right there where the shoulder connects, it just absolute, torture fest for myself. But bringing it out in front may be something that you find absolutely beneficial. And, if you're having problems with some exercises, and especially if, everyone's like, oh, you got to do that exercise, play with variations, okay? Play with a variation that works for you. No one's going to, oh, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You meant to hold the knurling, the little rings on the knurling whenever you do bench press, even though, everybody's different, okay? You got to find what works for you. You got to find what works for you, man, and, then you'll really start to grow. Make the gym work for you. You don't have to fit any kind of, preconceived idea of success, really. Unless the science says so, it's science. Well, it's real, but, in the end of the day, the science always says, do what works for you. So, then following shoulders, okay, that shoulder's done for the day. How easy is that? Shrug, anterior raise, onto biceps, okay? Nothing better than a bicep finisher. You keep the pump for the longest and you look the best whenever you get home. To win that Mirror Olympia. So, what does a dumbbell bicep curl look like for me? Well, I just stand there, kind of hands, at the sides, kind of in a neutral position. Then we kind of bring it up and supinate at the top. Now, I like that squeeze at the top, but there's no resistance up there. So maybe it's not worthwhile to hold it up there. And, if you're doing big, long sets, this arm down here is still on. And it's not the bicep that's on, it's the forearm that's still on. So, if you're getting to the end of your set and you're like, damn, my forearms are giving up. I can't do 20 reps. I can't do that many reps with that weight. My forearms is the part that gives up. Maybe there's a variation that's better for you. Having that top squeeze at the top, maybe it's not worthwhile for you, but I do enjoy it. So I've been doing it. 2 minutes rest in between everything here except for the shrug, which was 3, 4, 5 on those working sets. So 2 minutes rest, 10 kilos, 22 reps, 12.5 kilos, 22 reps, and that's 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 22. Okay. Then the working sets, which is really what we should be looking at playing with here. 15 kilos. This is not a lot. It's at the end of an exercise, and there's no shame in getting the reps right with a lesser weight. You go back to old videos of Tom Platz and talking about that. He's like, wow, I had to go to the gym twice on arm day. One I would actually go and train arms, Okay, early in the morning, I would actually go and train arms with like, the 20-pound dumbbell and really get those reps, get that contraction. And then when the film crews came, or the magazines came, I had to go train biceps again with like a 40-pound dumbbell, and talking about how embarrassing it was that you know being able to curl heavy is the perceived uh, equals bigger biceps, which is just not the case. It's time under tension. There's many different mechanisms of hypertrophy. It's not just weight, although weight is a fun number to chase. You just got to try not to get lost in the sauce. So yeah, that's my shoulder exercise for the week, and that runs through on a cycle. Maybe the next day I get off. Well, I was talking about it in the leg video. Next day I get off. I'm gonna elaborate a bit more on what I'm doing for my programming. Maybe certain exercise selections in a bit more depth. Try and get some visual aids, stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that, YouTuber stuff. I have it on Instagram. If you're not coming from Instagram, you found me otherwise. It's the Ali B, as you see it on the YouTube channel, just the Ali B, and it's a photo of me, probably still a photo of me hitting like side tricep kind of in the mirror. Okay, well, thank you and have a good day.